Recently, Jurassic Park franchise producer Frank Marshall, in regards to the special effects for the upcoming Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, said, "I think since Jurassic Park we've got more animatronics than any of the other movies, except Jurassic Park." I saw this quote and it got me thinking. There are several things that can be taken from comments like these. First of all, it's just blatant PR talk, propaganda to generate further interest in a movie project. Film producer praises film he is producing, what's new? It's also a bit ironic seeing as though the first Jurassic World had a joke about people who think more means better are dumb consumers. That film seemingly was full of unintended critiques about itself, and the producer just added to that here. If I remember correctly, the director of the last Jurassic World movie said something similar, that they would be using animatronics in the movie, that they would be shooting on film, that they would be filming on location, all things that moviegoers in general want to hear, right? And then when Jurassic World was released, we saw that there was only one animatronic in the film, a pathetic token Apatosaurus head that looked so poor it might as well have been scrapped for a digital version. There were CGI trees, buildings, dinosaurs, even the colour of the sky, and all attacked with irritating colour correction that robbed everything of their distinct features. If there were more animatronic dinosaurs, then we clearly didn't see them because they were enhanced, and when I mean enhanced, I mean they were drawn over with CGI, which means we don't get to see them in their glorious state, and thus the fact that they were originally animatronic is meaningless. You see these kind of comments a lot, it's fairly standard practice. Actors from Ridley Scott's Alien Covenant, for example, in the build up to the film talked about their fear in how they were chased by men in suits while shooting. It's obviously supposed to generate excitement because people listening to this will think, oh wow, they're using practical effects. But as anyone who saw the final product will tell you, the men in suits turned out to be men in motion capture suits, and the xenomorphs were digitally rendered into scenes, and rendered very poorly, I might add. Going back to the original quote then, it's safe to say it's the equivalent of a creepy, hairy old man coaxing you into stepping into his van by waving a chocolate bar at you. The producer just wants your bum in the cinema seat. Another interesting thing about the producer's quotes, and the Alien Covenant star's quotes, and J.J. Abrams' quotes on his Star Wars movies, and the quotes of so many directors, producers and actors who talk about how their upcoming blockbuster will have loads of practical effects, animatronics, will be shot on location, things like that, is that these people know what we as the audience want. There does seem to be a consensus that in general Hollywood is so out of touch with what moviegoers want. But here we have examples of people within the business attempting to persuade you to watch their movies by talking up aspects of the film, or even straight up lying about things that you want to see in movies. People are always going on about wanting practical effects over CGI. So what do filmmakers say in the build up to their movies? We've got loads of practical effects. Hollywood isn't out of touch. Hollywood's game is more on point than any of us realise, with entire companies being hired to discover and decipher just what audiences are looking for in movies. They won't necessarily include the things you want in their movies, the expensive cost being one such reason, but they sure as hell will try to convince you that they have done. Comments like these are just exaggerations and lies in a long line of exaggerations and lies, and it's weird that people seem to always fall for it, and then wise up after seeing the movie, and then jump right onto the hype bandwagon when the sequel begins its teaser and trailer runs. Just look at any Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Jurassic World film or any other major blockbuster movie that you personally were disappointed with, and do a bit of research on the list of quotes and interviews that the cast and crew made before the release of the film, and you'll often find them, in a way, saying exactly what you hope the film would include, like for example as stated practical effects. It's also quite insulting in a way, isn't it? Saying that a movie will have practical effects just to get us to see it. I mean, is it just practical effects that make a good movie? What about a good plot, a cohesive, well-written script, efficient acting? We may be crying out for specific things like animatronics, but that doesn't mean 2 hours of a twitching hydraulic T-Rex is going to make a decent film. Anyway, it's only a single sentence from a producer. Probably not an entire video worth of ranting, but I saw that quote and saw the hype that it generated online, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. We have to realise that everybody promoting a blockbuster is always reading off the same hymn sheet, and it's a sheet in the shape of a massive $sign.